Welcome back to the first pregame of a championship series. We are so excited to be here. We wanted to be here for two teams, but we got the team I think my dad and I were most anticipating would be here. The Celtics have done everything right. The table is set. This is what this team was built for. Dad, how are you feeling? Game one, huge game.
I am feeling fantastic. In fact, the old bull is literally on less than 4 hours sleep because he was moving and he was up that late last night and had to go to work. And I feel like I've drank a 6 pack of Red Bull and I'm just ready to run. I am so psyched for this game. And you know, we've said everything just about we need to say. We had that awesome pre-finals show. Hopefully you all tuned in for that or went back and watched it. Not much new to add in the past 24 hours, but one thing I'm interested in, Matt, I don't know if you've thought about this. We didn't get a chance to prep for this. I'm interested in the rust factor. Both teams, do they look rusty? Does one team look rusty? Does the other team just look like they haven't missed a beat? Because that could decide game one. There was so much time off. This game could possibly literally get decided because one team was rusty and the other team just for some reason wasn't.
No, yeah, I think the good thing is that we've had to address this in every single series so far, right? Because the
Yes.
first series we finished number one. It was a huge layoff because of the play-in. Second series, we put the Heat away in five. Everybody else, I think, went six or seven, and every single time the Celtics have played very well on rest, right? They've won every single game one, and at the start
Oh,
they've come out hot.
uh-uh.
What?
No, no,
When?
no, no, no.
The Pacers?
Sorry,
Is that?
Kimusabi. You're forgetting about the Pacers. We should have lost
Yeah,
that game. No, no, no. Don't. We should have lost that game. They simply just needed to inbounds the pass, and we lose that game. So
yeah, I mean,
that
what did the
game,
Pacers game
but
start
you're
out
right
as though?
about the other two.
I'm pretty sure the Pacers game started out like 16 to nothing, right? So we did let it get away from us, but we came out of the gate firing. The Pacers started that like from I understand like, from a full game standpoint, we're going to steal game 1. You're going to steal absolutely nothing, Jay. You suck. The Mavs suck. You guys are going to lose in 4 games. It's going to be a blowout. Yeah, the Celtics open up that game on a 12-0 run after a ton of rest. I anticipate, we got 14 people. Listen, if you're here, subscribe. We're going to be here before and after every single Boston Celtics game on YouTube. It's only going to be 4 games because we are going to sweep the Mavericks, but I hope you guys are here for the pregame and postgame. Super thankful for everybody who's tuning in. And if you share any comments, write anything, we're going to respond to it. Let us know your thoughts. If rust is going to be a big deal, I'm not afraid. I don't think rust is going to be a factor because it hasn't been a factor in all 3 game ones. I understand that Pacers game did get close, but this team comes out of the gate prepared. So I'm not I guess if I had to rate out of 10, I would say my concern is about a 4. I'll say, give it a
Hey,
4. What's
the rest could work against the Mavericks. They haven't
yeah.
had a layoff like this as the Celtics have. So I'm not saying it like a negative, like it could affect the Celtics. I'm just saying game one, everyone's been hyping up what's going to happen, what's going to be the X factor, the deciding factor. It might simply be that one team is rusty and the other one isn't. So we'll have
Yeah.
to see how it goes. Someone jumps off to a 24-point lead midway through the second quarter and doesn't battle back. That could be the factor in game one. I'm just saying,
I'm
look out for it. It's an
yeah.
interesting. I don't know. Has anyone ever had 10 days off and the other team has 8 days off? Like it feels like it's
I mean,
unprecedented.
from a viewership standpoint, it was very bad for the NBA. They were digging deep in their pockets, and we talked about this in the pre-series show. Man, some of the reporting and everything, we didn't even bother, guys. Right? We got on, we had that one segment, but my dad and I both knew we're going to talk this thing to death. So let's just really get to game time, and we're finally here. Dad, I could put a
Yeah.
number on it. I think this concern about rest is 4 out of 10 for me. What's your number?
For the Celtics, because they're used to it, I give it a 3. So
Oh wow,
hopefully,
you're
hopefully it
undercutting
goes
me.
in their favor. Oh
You just
yeah,
prices
hopefully it
righted
goes
me.
in their favor. And the Mavericks are rusty. All right, so let's talk about the game. What do you think is
Yeah.
going to happen, Matt? You have any ongoing concerns going in that we haven't talked about?
I think there's some breaking news in this game, right? And it's something that a lot of
Oh.
people have been debating. So Porzingis is coming off the bench, and
Whoa!
yeah. So my first thought is yuck, right? There's a lot, and I think there's one big reason why. And Russell Westbrook kind of brought attention to this as he shifted from like a starter to a bench guy. But when you come off the bench, your body is a lot cooler, right? You're not just jumping in from warmups. So Porzingis, I get why they're doing it,
Wow.
right? But I'm really hopeful this doesn't come back to bite us because he comes off the bench cold and he hurts himself. So
Hmm.
I'm kind of concerned about that. What are your thoughts,
That's
Dad?
major, major breaking news there. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm crazy about that move by Missoula. You know, is this a sign that he's not as healthy as we think, or he's not as ready as we think? I don't know. So maybe they feel like he just needs one game to get, to shake the rust off. Interesting development though. So, trying to think of their backup. That means they're probably gonna, he's gonna be going up against Lively because Lively comes off the bench.
Yes.
That could be part of it too. They want to match him up with Lively. Gafford, he's a good defensive center. He doesn't have the length and the shot blocking quite like Lively does. I wonder if that has comes into play. Like if Lively was a starter, would Porzingis be starting? So, that's my gut
Yeah.
reaction to that breaking news. That is huge.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
a whopper.
Yeah, and we got cousin Jessica liking it. I appreciate you, Jessica. Even though you're not sharing anything, I always liking it. I really appreciate you being here for us, supporting us. 9 people on Facebook. Lots of Facebook people. Lots of love there. Um,
That's a
yeah, I
lot
think
for us. We appreciate it. Yeah.
yeah. This is outside of that. So the game. How do I feel about the game? Um, I'm pretty confident as I watch more and I talk about it more, and I look at the numbers, right? Because I did a little bit of betting today, right? And I went and I looked at the stats for some of those bottom guys for the Mavericks, and like my dad said, Derek Jones Jr. He was like the eighth or ninth best player on the Heat last year, right? He couldn't, so it's gonna take some out of the ordinary games for these guys to really make an impact. PJ Washington, he's hit some big threes at end of games, but he's had some really cold starts. So it's going to be interesting to see, number one, which Celtic is going to put their stamp on this game early. So far in the playoffs has been Jaylen Brown. My dad was hoping it would be Jason Tatum. We also got Jefferson Gomez. What's up, Jefferson Gomez? Thanks for liking, man. Appreciate you. I think this is another big Jaylen Brown game. A lot of the sport betting books have him going like 6.5 in the first quarter. Dad, people really think he's coming
Wow.
out aggressive. What do you think?
He does come flying out of the gate usually. So, and if he takes it to the hoop and doesn't settle for fadeaways and threes, he's probably going to do that. Absolutely. But let me give you something on PJ Washington. There might be some concern there with this guy because let me tell you, we are, well, let me ask you this. He was on fire from three against Oklahoma City, and he struggled bad against Minnesota from three.
Yeah,
Who do you
yeah.
think the Celtics emulate most out of those two teams?
I think we're much closer to Oklahoma City. I think.
Exactly. So that's my only concern there is I don't know. Does that our style, our defensive style, which is more similar to OKC, benefit PJ Washington? So I'm hoping that's not an X factor for them. So just keep an eye on that. That thought
Yeah,
came to me earlier today. Yeah.
yeah. I think one thing we will not see a lot of. We're up to 20 people viewing. That's absurd. Thank you everybody for viewing. If you're on
Wow.
Facebook viewing, super thankful for that. If you are on YouTube, please subscribe on YouTube. We're here, before and after all these Celtics games. Come share your thoughts and say something. Type. Throw
That's
anything out there.
record.
Yeah. So breaking records. Another big thing is I don't think we're going to see a lot of two bigs, right? With Horford and Porzingis, I don't think we're going to see them on the floor a lot
No.
because Kyrie and Doncic
Nope.
are going to absolutely kill us. And I think that's one of the big reasons the Timberwolves got murdered because they always had
Yeah.
Towns and Gobert on the court at the same time. I don't see that getting very much play at all, Dad. What lineup do you
That's
think is going to see?
that's a
Go ahead,
That's a
Dad.
great point. I love that, Matt. Absolutely. And then they bring in Reed, who's another big for the Timberwolves, and they were just getting killed left and right. But this is going to be big, right? We're about to find out, are we on the cusp of something huge? If the Celtics come out like they kind of have in the past, it's going to be like, oh, have they gotten it yet? But let me tell you, if they've been hearing the chirping and they are sick of it, and they come out and just man up and finally have matured like we've been hoping and just stomp them, that's a good sign, people, because our core is so young. If they can get that killer mentality now, Tatum at 26, 2 years younger than LeBron and Jordan when they won their championships. And Brown, I feel like, is already there because he was awesome in the finals 2 years ago. again, knock on wood, I'm not going to say the D word. I'm not going to say the word, but this is big, people. If we don't come out and we're not timid and we're just stomping them after all the trash we've heard from the
Yeah.
media and Doncic and all this crap, that's a great sign. You should be
Yeah.
excited if that's the case.
I'm very excited. And we have 37 people on Facebook. And you know what it is?
That is
Uh
awesome.
Oh, I mean, I don't know exactly what this guy said. I don't have translation for that, but he said Dallas. I made this public. We're up to 41. I made this public, so a lot of people are probably tuning in that who aren't even our friends. And you know what? I could dig it. You know, get in here if you're a Dallas fan. Get in here if you're a Celtics fan. I think. One of the so my dad made a very good prediction for a lineup that we saw last series. Dad, do you think that lineup prediction it might reappear this series? And if it does, do you want that appear with Tatum at the 5? You know, you're the one that called it out before it even happened.
I would love to see him play small ball. I wish they experimented more with it when they had these huge leads, up, 3 games to 1 constantly. I wish they played it a little more. The little taste we got of it against Indiana was good. With Brissett in there, high energy, like everyone's fast, flying around. Like, no, it was one of the few lineups that's actually slowed Indiana down. So I'd like to see it against Dallas. I know they got a couple bigs, but they don't play those two bigs together. They play them one at
Yeah.
a time. And if you body a guy up, he's not going to get an alley oop dunk. So
Yeah.
those alley oop dunks come with space. You body him up. It doesn't matter if the guy's a few inches shorter. It'll stop those alley oops. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. It means he liked to bet on Dallas. He'd have money to buy a sack of rice. Hey, thank you, Joseph. Listen, I figured out some stuff with Facebook. We're getting more people from Facebook. We got 58 people live viewing it. And again, we
This is
sincerely appreciate you
amazing.
guys. We
Wow.
all are also on YouTube, guys. So if you want to subscribe and
Hit
get
that
this
subscribe.
for all these games and join us. A lot of international people on Facebook love to watch. Joseph over here laughing. And Joseph,
And we'll
hopefully
be
we're
here for the
laughing.
post game.
Yeah.
We're going to be here after the game. So tune in right after the game. We are going to be back live here.
Yeah, and hopefully you'll see a very happy and overjoyed old bull young calf. And if we're not, you can come, kick some sand in our face and rub it in,
Oh,
because that's what we've dealt with this whole playoffs. We're here, sadness or happiness. Yeah, I think this is a big game. I don't know what the odds are, Dad. Do you know what the spread is? I probably find it
it
out here
was
in a
six and a
second.
half.
Six and
Celtics
a
were
half.
6.5 points. So I don't know, Matt. What's your prediction for the game? What's your score or differential?
I think the Celtics. I think the Celtics cover that. I think the Celtics win, but probably by double digits. And I think, like you said, Dad, we're going to know super early on. As much as the superstars are important, I think this game is so important about Derek White and Drew Holiday. Those two guys getting it going. Nobody on the Mavericks, like the gap between Doncic and Tatum, and then I think Jaylen Brown's better than Kyrie, right? But the gap after that should be ginormous from Drew Holiday and Derek White in the next rotation player on the Mavericks, right? So, of course, we don't know what we're going to get from Porzingis, so I don't want to factor him in there right now. But man, I am so hopeful that first 3-pointer falls for both those guys. If they each start with a 3-pointer, that is a great sign for this series. So those are those shots, and
Absolutely.
you know who else? Hauser. Especially with those small ball lineups,
Oh,
Hauser's been great on defense.
yeah.
If Hauser can please hit his first
Get
three,
back to the way it was.
that
Yes.
guy will hit
Huge.
9 in a row. We've seen it in the regular season. He did it in one of
Yeah.
the games, at least 1 or 2 games this playoff run. Hit your first three, Hauser. Please, please get in a rhythm. It'd be absolutely ginormous.
All right, we're
What
gonna
about you,
get
Dad?
going. It's almost game time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna predict a Celtics win with a twist of fate, which is it's the Celtics who end the game with a huge shot
Oh
and
no, don't
stuff it
do
in
that.
Doncic's face. Okay,
I I don't want. My
and then
heart
the
can't take that.
narrative's gonna change. So I know, but hey, that's part of being in the championship. That's what's great about it. So all right, people, let's get ready.
Go Celtics. This is what we've been waiting for months. This is
Go
it.
Celtics. See you
Ever
after the
since that.
game.
Yep. All right, everybody. Have a good night. Thank you so much for everybody who tuned in. Facebook, YouTube. Really appreciate